Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Cray, and I'm back with another Call of Duty mobile video, okay? Today, we getting right to the point. I am going to share with you guys what I believe is the top 5 Call of Duty mobile weapons for beginners or entry-level players, new players, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you guys want to call it, but yeah, whatever you want to call it. And the reason why I chose these weapons because they're easily accessible, they are very viable with no attachments, and yeah, they can slap. They can slap. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Also, before we dive in, rewind just a little bit, These guns are in no particular order whatsoever. So it's not a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 by any means. So keep that in mind. Now, again, let's go ahead and dive in. Gun number 1 has to be one of my favorite weapons in the game, and that is the ICR-1. Okay, Craig, why the ICR-1? Few reasons, okay? It has one of the higher mobilities for assault rifles. It actually matches the mobility of some SMGs and outclasses some SMGs in some cases. It has a pretty viable fire rate as well, can lay some damage, and is pretty accurate, especially from an ADS standpoint. The ICR is something I've been able to get multiple 30 kill games in team deathmatch with. Is it team deathmatch or front lines? Whatever modes I play the most, but you guys know what I'm saying. I'm able to drop multiple 30 bombs with it without much trouble at all. It was one of the first guns I actually unlocked in the game, and I mean, it's very, very consistent to my knowledge. So I would definitely recommend the ICR-1 to any entry-level fragger in COD Mobile. Weapon number 2. This is for all of my trick shotters slash quickscope enthusiasts, okay? And that is the DLQ-33. Okay, Cray, why would you choose this sniper rifle? Because you have it unlocked by default, right? It's sitting right there and it's actually pretty darn good. Okay, it packs a punch. You can one-tap people, okay? Has impeccable range, all right? The accuracy is not too bad either. You can get a lot of drag scopes on people, quick scopes on people, you name it. Its fire rate is not the highest by any means, so it can be a little bit unforgiving if you do miss those quick scopes. I would say if you miss 2 in a row, you might be dead. Just keep that in mind. But overall, I think the mobility is okay. I think its control is okay as well, and I think it's just pretty useful. I think it's pretty useful and it's pretty viable early on. If you decide to invest your time into upgrading it, I think you can't go wrong with that. I think it's just all around overall balance. So keep that in mind. Check it out, especially if you're trying to get into sniping. Weapon number 3. It would have to be one of my favorite guns in the game. And I don't know if it's a popular weapon or not. I don't know much about the COD mobile community at all and what they favor and what they don't. But it's one of my favorite guns, and that will be the Razorback, okay? Cray, are you crazy? Why the Razorback? I don't know if I'm crazy or not, but I rock out with it. Why? Because it out damages some ARs in the game. Now, I know its range does not make up for that. Okay, ARs are always going to outrange SMGs for the most part, I believe, but its damage outclasses some of those ARs, which is pretty solid. That's pretty good to know, man. Pretty decent fire rate overall. Its mobility is pretty well, controlled pretty well, and its accuracy for the most part, accurate. I cannot talk to save my life. Its accuracy for the most part is pretty good as well, okay? Now, it does have a pretty decent fire rate and a pretty decent kick, so if you don't control that recoil or you don't have attachments that you've unlocked from grinding it out to control that recoil, it could be a little bit rough initially. I will openly admit that, but close range, even mid-range, if you're in Nuketown or any map of that nature, you can beat cats up with the Razorback. It is smooth, especially if you land those headshots. Man, you could wipe a team like it's nobody's business. So the Razorback is one of my go-tos. I would heavily advocate for it. Weapon number 4, we are talking about the Cordite, okay? Now, I know this is a gun that really is not liked by many people. At least in Black Ops 4, people weren't really digging it like that. But I think it's a little bit different here. Why? Because it has that high fire rate, right? So, I mean, it does have a little bit of kick. I'll be openly honest. It's not the most accurate SMG in the game, but the fire rate just allows you to outgun people at close range, man. Like, you line up headshots, you are dropping bullets on people. Like, its damage isn't all that high either in comparison to something like the Razorback. Like, its damage rating is a 39 and the Razorback's is a 45, but the fire rate compensates for that so much, and you're so mobile with this gun. You're running around, slide canceling, jump shotting cats, and this range is pretty decent too. In fact, a lot of you guys don't notice, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it actually outranges a few ARs in the game as well. So keep that in mind. If you can control that high fire rate, you can put down some cats in that close to mid-range for sure, you know, and you can even stretch that mid-range a little bit. Don't sleep on the Cordite. It can get busy, especially when you unlock those attachments. So I'd say it'll be a viable investment. And ladies and gentlemen, weapon number 5. I'm sure you guys already know what it is. It's been dominant in several Call of Duties now, and that is the M4. That is the M4. Like, I don't know one Call of Duty game that this gun is in and it is not viable. I just genuinely don't know, right? Like, it just is all around balance. Its damage is all right. Accuracy is all right. Its range is pretty darn good. Fire rate is pretty high. You can be mobile with it. Its mobility is high. Its control is pretty decent as well. And when you unlock attachments for this thing, it only gets better. It only gets better. It's literally like the Goku of Call of Duty. It really is when I sit and think about it. It unlocks the attachments. It's like Goku, like, I'm Super Saiyan 1. I'm Super Saiyan 2. I'm Super Saiyan 3. Like, man, this thing is kind of nutty. It's kind of nutty. And in the right hands, oh my gosh, it is a force to be reckoned with. So keep that in mind. Invest in that M4. It ain't gonna do you dirty. Trust and believe me. And ladies and gentlemen, that is all that I have for you in today's videos. Do you guys agree with me that these are some of the best entry-level guns in the game? Do you guys disagree with me? And if you do, what weapons would you suggest for people that are just getting in to Call of Duty Mobile? Drop them down in the comments below. I would appreciate that. It's been your boy Cray. I'm signing off, and I will catch you all on the next one. Until then, we are out. Peace.